Being out here in Jamaica, you kind of realize how much damage the hurricane caused. I know it sounds silly to say, oh, a hurricane caused some damage, but I don't know, it feels so surreal seeing trees leant over, snapped in half, seeing roofs gone, seeing houses caved in. It really puts into perspective what you have in this life and how easily it can be taken away. Like Mother Nature created something so destructive and sent it to an island where Mother Nature thrives. One destroyed the other. It's so weird when you think about it that way, how two things created by nature can impact one another in such ways. Yeah, it's just interesting to see, really. Natural destruction. Also, seeing the damages here have made me really appreciate what I have back home. Yes. But I feel like in more developed countries, you may receive a bit more support on rebuilding structures, or there'll be some sort of relief to help. Here, it just seems like you're kind of just left alone to deal with what's happened. It doesn't feel fair, but life isn't fair, is it? It's made me really appreciate what I have back home. The accessibility to so many things as well, so much easier. And also seeing the wealth distribution amongst the lower class and the upper class is quite interesting to see. Anyway, enough about that. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Park Your Thoughts, a place to park your thoughts and hopefully understand them. And today, I've got a couple things on my mind, two to be exact. I wouldn't know how to start, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. Sometimes I feel like I have the intentions of backing myself, but I don't actually have the follow through of doing it. For example, there's times where I back myself, I'm saying, yeah, I have a strong belief in this, I know it's gonna go my way. I really wanna speak it into existence. I put that energy out there. Then once it's out there, I start to overthink it, and then I start to backtrack, so I don't want to feel disappointed if my words don't come true, negative thoughts. And I don't like that, because once I put that energy out there, I kind of want to leave it out there. I don't want to go scrambling back and taking back all this power that I've left on the table, because then it just defeats the point of that first part if I'm then backtracking it again. And I really want to get better at that, saying something and just letting it go into the ether and then not getting attached to any outcomes that might follow. I guess I do it because I don't want to be let down. I don't want to put energy out there and it doesn't come out to the results that I want it to be. I get scared of being let down, especially being let down by myself, because I brought this upon myself. If I'm let down by other people, then it's whatever. That's other people, I can't control their actions. But I can control my actions, so why am I then putting myself out there to let myself down? I guess I need to master the art of detachment. Going through the self-healing journey, you hear so much about the art of detachment, how to let go, how to move on, how to put a thought, how to put belief out there, how to put energy out there and not get attached to the outcome. It was a confusing idea. Now, as I've gone along this healing journey more, I start to understand what that means. You want to empower yourself. You want to get to the point of realization with yourself where you know you want this belief, but you know how to move on if it doesn't come true. You're not going to let this failure or something coming to fruition let you down. You're not going to let it take over your thoughts. You're not going to let it make you think you can't pursue anything anymore. It's just, I've had this thought, I want it to become this. How do you work towards it, but not let it take over your mindset? How are you going to put the action behind it where it comes true, but also detach enough to where it doesn't become your Achilles heel? I don't know if I use that phrase right, but how do you let something not overtake your thoughts? How do you let something just be? You just doing the shadow work you need to do while it's not on your mind 24/7. So that's something that I need to work on, the art of detachment. It's hard because I get so attached to my thoughts. I really want something to become true if I believe in it. I guess we all do. And I get to a point though now where I'm scared to say what I want, as what if it doesn't come true? What if I put all this energy into something and it just doesn't happen? Yeah, I guess you can say redirection. What's meant to be will be, and what's right for you will find you. But when you're putting that first belief into it, I'm not thinking about all the downsides because that can kill the energy behind the thought. I'm just thinking all positives. The negatives don't come in till later, but I kind of want to stop the negatives happening and not let that kill the momentum of the thought that I'm having. I just truly want to believe in something and not have to think about any negatives, but have it in the back of my mind that this is a goal that I want, be able to do the shadow work to get to that point. And if it doesn't happen, then cool. We move on to the next plan. This thought came about because I'm starting to really see a path with this channel and where it can go. And I was starting to think about how can I create a real community? How can I build a platform where people can just be here and be present with their thoughts and their feelings and not have to worry about outside noises judging their thoughts? And I started basically thinking about the aim of Park Your Thoughts. And then about an hour later, I started thinking about all the negatives that could happen. And it really felt like self-sabotage or me putting myself down so I just don't get hurt if it doesn't happen. And it's frustrating because that negative energy out of that space. Yeah, it is frustrating, but at least I know I'm doing it. That's the biggest phrase that can be said in your self-healing journey. At least you know you're doing it. Because if you didn't know you're doing it, how can you solve the problem? It takes a lot to get to that point of at least you know you're doing it. So if you're on your self-healing journey, make sure that you realize that it's happening. But I want you to know that's a very important thing for you in your journey of healing. At least you know you're doing it. Because yeah, that's a massive step right there alone. There's so many people out there that don't know what they're doing and it's destroying so many of their connections. You've made the acknowledgement of you knowing you're in this negative pattern. How can you step out of it and better yourself? So yeah, while we're here, I want to talk about my actual channel aims in detail. I want to practice what I preach and put something out there and not think negatively about it. So a community, I want to create that. I want to create a space where people can feel safe and talk about their thoughts and feelings openly, and hopefully someone in the community can help that said person. I want to do group part meetups where it's almost like a TED talk, have panels of people that are professionals in whatever field they're in, and hopefully they can talk to the audience about tools that they can use or techniques that they can use in their lives to help them through certain phases of their life. Personally, I want to travel the world and talk to different people and pick different people's minds, because me being a solo traveler for some of my trips and then me being here with family doing this trip, I feel like you gain so much from just traveling. And if I could have a conversation with different people in different parts of the world and show that to people on this channel, the different thoughts and mindsets of people, then that would be a massive life goal for me. And I really hope that people can understand different parts of the world through this channel. What else is there? Travel the world, group sessions. Oh, another thing as well. I really have started to understand myself more through doing this. I guess you could say it's like a video journal for me. But what I'm starting to realize is that I really care about psychology and therapy, tools and techniques to help someone through life challenges or like mental blocks, as well as like actually just generally helping people talk out an idea or help someone, basically. Long story short, I really like helping people through this. That's a lovely sound. If I could get to a point where this is doing really well and I can now sit down and really reconsider my career path, I think I'd want to become a therapist, get a PhD in therapy, and then that way I can bring a lot more to the table, not just me being like, oh, I'm going through this, can you guys help me? Or I'm going through this, can you guys relate? Or I've solved this problem, will this help you guys? I could actually come to the table and give you actual techniques and advice on how to handle specific situations. And if I can get the opportunity to do that and redo my career, then I would love to do that. I've kind of come to the realization that I actually don't have any specific set plans on where I want my life to go. I just have multiple different plans and paths, and I'm kind of building towards all of them. But I think a couple of them will show its head, okay, cool, this is more of the option, go down that path, and then maybe more paths will open from there. I feel like if you base your life off of one massive plan and it doesn't go the way how you want it to, it's not going to end well, because you won't know how to adapt, you wouldn't know how to replan for your next path or the next route that you have to take. So maybe when it comes to planning your life, don't have one set plan. Just see where life can take you. And also, some plans might not reveal itself until literally the last second of the quarter or the last second of the half. But then you might have to take that shot. And don't be afraid to take that shot if it does reveal itself. And also, don't be afraid to take temporary paths. As you can see, I had to change locations real quick. My phone was in the sun and it was starting to overheat. I recently reposted a short that I'd done a while ago. It was the video, Am I Enough? The gist of the video was sometimes I feel like I'm not enough. I feel like when I'm not picked, I'm being abandoned. I feel like when I'm not the go-to friend, is that friendship even worth having? I have to always be the go-to person. And I have to make myself available to do that, even though sometimes myself I'm not available. And that in a way, I was helping them to help myself. So I wasn't really kind of helping them in a genuine way. Also, I was helping them so that I can kind of escape my own problems in a way. As I was re-editing that short, I started to realize that those beliefs aren't within. As I was re-editing that short, I started to realize that those beliefs have really left my body now. I really don't think that same way anymore. And it's also been tested as I've had to be there for a friend during a hard time and I couldn't be their go-to person. The scenario didn't require that. And I wouldn't have been doing them justice if I was constantly in their ear. Also, they had someone in their lives for that role. They had their partner to go with all these sudden thoughts, these sudden realizations. So I couldn't have fulfilled that role anyway. I started to realize I have this sort of ego when it comes to my friends that I need to get over, which is I have this demand all access pass to your life and I must be there for every single part, good or bad, invitation or no invitation, to these events. I guess I kind of let go of that because I knew it wasn't coming from a good place. It was coming from a place where I needed to be needed by people. It was coming from a place of abandonment issues where I needed to be needed. I needed you to see me. And as time's gone on and I've started to empower myself more, I've realized that I don't need people's approval. I'm the shit. And I need to start bringing that power back into me. Don't get me wrong, I still love my friends and I still always be there for my friends. I don't need anyone else's approval to know that I'm secure in my own life. I know even if I did get abandoned, which I know I won't, but even if I did get abandoned by all my friends, I could go out there and make a whole bunch of new friends if I need to, because I'm just so secure in what I bring to the table and how I know I am when it comes to just life in general. I know my energy is loved by people. I really don't believe that I'm not enough anymore. I know that I'm enough. Even with the scenario I just told you about, my friends still came to me. They still came to me for advice, but it was advice they needed specifically for that time. And I gave them my 2 cents, and then we continued on with what we needed to do during that day. And I think in that moment, I realized the mental maturity that I've taken on. Because before, I'll be thinking, we still haven't spoken about the elephant in the room when we don't need to. That's not the scenario right there in front of us. And when the person's ready, then we can talk about it. We don't need to rush all these topics right now and get to the bottom of everything. That's not how life works. Life takes time, life needs patience. So yeah, I just want to share the update with you because I feel like it's important to show the updated thoughts to the old videos. I know I am enough. I've always known I'm enough. My insecurities led me to believe that I wasn't enough because I know what I bring to the table. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there because I know when I've got nothing more to say because I always search for my next thought deeply, and if nothing comes to the forefront of my mind straight away, I think it's the end of this video. Love you, bye.